Hello everyone, my name is Oscar Chamat. I'm a software engineer, graduated. I have 7 years of experience, professional experience in software development. I'm practicing English with this channel, so that's why I'm talking English. I'm a Spanish speaker. And I do these videos so people can correct me, so you can watch and learn something. And if you see me, if you hear me saying something wrong or something is mispronounced, please correct me. What I'm doing now is learning React Native. I always try to learn with an object, with a goal in mind, because as a software engineer, you need to learn a lot, and there's a lot of things you are going to investigate, and there's a huge amount of things that you can learn, but they don't stick in memory. You have to use them. If you're not going to constantly use what you are learning, it's better to go to the things that you are using and go deeper. That's my opinion. And in general, it's what works, is what have worked for me. I have a lot of I have everything I learn, I do a summary. So I'm going to put the link of my summary so you can see there's like mm, 80 different subjects in which I have studied, and each of those summaries are big, like 100 pages each one. I don't think you can see that to that level, but you can see the the folder. Okay, so now what I'm learning is React Native. I don't know if I already told this, but I'm creating a small application to track my blood pressure, and my heart rate. That helps me in the long term, seeing if I'm exercising too much, what I'm eating, in general. That helps me. So yes, I'm learning React Native. I generally learn from videos, but it is better to learn directly from the documentation, because the documentation is more recent in general. It's better explained, is more recent, and in general does not have so much of a bias. It's created by people that is really close to the project and they really understand the project, not by some developer that already has his bias. But it's not that bias, does not don't cause that much that difference. But the documentation lets you go deeper, and going deeper in a subject is more professional, allows you to create more robust applications. You really understand the rules, and you understand how things fail, and when there's weird bugs, you can find them. So let's learn by the documentation. So we're here, React Native. React Native, because React Native is the one that allows us to create cell phone applications. Um, when you're learning something in software engineering, you must be sure that your bases are covered, that you have a strong basis. So you should really understand JavaScript and ECMAScript. I need this application a little fast. It will uh, save me more time if I do it fast. I understand that I need a brush up in ECMAScript. I'm going to try this to try to learn directly React Native. Um, just try. Maybe I have to go to ECMAScript. I also will show you how I learn ECMAScript. That will be with a video, most probably. But go, let's get started. Always when I learn something, I use a document because human memory is not great. As a software engineer, you learn that you don't have to memorize things. Things exist in the documentation. So your abilities are part what you know, what you understand, and part how to locate yourself in the documentation. I like to do my summaries to speed up things, speed up looking for things that are used fast. And in general, this allows me to study faster. If I have an exam, if I have an interview, I go here and let me study faster and let me organize different stuff about the technology, like uh, questions about the technology, interview questions. Lets me create a greater, more organized map, not not um, not only different posts separated, but it's more of a concrete map. And I understand my summaries. I have been doing this for a long time. For example, I know I put, for example, as a normal software engineer, as a good software engineer should know, Control One, Control One. All files are ended with an end file. It's a special character. And I put this titled end file so I can travel faster in my summaries. I can go to the end of the file. I try not to have huge files, too big files, huge files, because they exist in Google Docs, and that takes a lot of memory and makes computers slow. So I try to separate. Uh, I don't have one file with all I know about computation. I have them separated by technology. For example, I have here React Native. I also have one about JavaScript. Maybe I could keep React Native, and JavaScript in the same file, but I think React JavaScript is big enough for a file. And in my mind, how I think, I know where to look React and React Native. I know that in a file, in a separated file. Yes, in my mind is, and this goes back to the point that to the thing that I was telling you, that you don't memorize everything. You're part what you know, what you understand, and part how to find things in documentation. So I know how to find knowledge in my files, and I also know how to find it in the documentation. But the files make my search faster. Okay, let's review this little. Okay, that was nothing. So let's get started with React Native. It's good to read the first page. I could go directly here, but it's better to have a general idea. Okay, so React Native, learn once, write anywhere. You can use React Native in different platforms, such as Android and Apple, in iOS. Okay, step one, create a native app for Android and iOS using React. React Native combines the best parts of native development with React, a best-in-class JavaScript library for building user interfaces. Use a little or a lot. You can use React Native today in your existing Android and iOS projects, or you can create a whole new app from scratch. We are going to create a whole new app from scratch. It's going to be a small app, written in JavaScript, rendered with native code. React primitives render to native platform UI, meaning your app uses the same native platform APIs as other platforms do. Many platforms want React. Create platform-specific versions of components so a single codebase can share code across platforms. With React Native, one team can maintain two platforms and share a common technology. React. Okay, this is a cool effect. Native development for everyone. React Native lets you create truly native apps. I'm reading because I'm the part of these videos is about practicing my English, so that's why I'm reading out loud. React Native. Generally, you read this a little faster. Just do a little skimming. React Native lets you create truly native apps and doesn't compromise your user's experience. It provides a core set of platforms-agnostic native components like view, text, and image that map directly to a platform native UI building blocks. Seamless cross-platform. React components wrap existing native code and interact with native APIs via React Declarative UI paradigm and JavaScript. This enables native app development for whole new teams of developers and can let existing native teams work much faster. Fast refresh, see your changes as soon as you save. With the power of JavaScript, React lets you iterate at lightning speed, no more waiting for native builds to finish. Tags on tags, Facebook community driven, second number of contributors. is supporting individuals, Costa, Expo, community is always shipping. Okay. This is important when you are seeing technology, but now we have mature technologies. React Native, Angular. Angular is less popular, and the one of Google. uh, let's just do a quick search. React Native versus Plural. Plural is the one of Google. Give it a try. Run this. Get started. Learn the basics. So let's see. Get started. So we're gonna spend a lot of time here. React Native docs. Welcome to the very start of your React Native journey. If you're looking for environment setup instructions, they move to their own section. Continue reading for an introduction to the document, native components, React, and more. Many different kinds of people use React Native, from advanced iOS developers to React beginners, to people getting started programming for the first time in their career. These docs were written for our learners, no matter their experience or background. I need to do the environment setup instructions. Okay, setting up the environment. I mean Windows 10. Um, this could go in WSL, but we're going to use, as I understand, uh, we are going to use uh, a simulator. So it is better to stay in Windows. Okay, setting up the development environment. This page will help you install and build your first React Native app. If you are new to mobile development, the easiest way to get started is with Expo CLI. Expo is a set of tools built around React Native, and while it has many features, the most relevant feature for us right now is that it can get you writing a React Native app within minutes. You will only need a recent version of Node.js and a phone or emulator. If you would like to try out React Native directly in your web browser before installing any tools, you can try Snack. If you're already familiar with mobile development, you may want to use React Native CLI. It requires Xcode or Android Studio to get started. If you already have one of those tools installed, you should be able to get up and running within a few minutes. If they are not installed, you should expect to spend about an hour installing and configuring them. Volume. Okay. Assuming that you have not to get installed npm. I'm pretty sure I don't have npm here installed. I need to put the PowerShell, a small PowerShell. Doesn't matter. Let's use Let's just add a window capture. Let's say shell. It's a PowerShell, automatic, blah, blah, blah. Okay. This is quite small. Okay, so npm. They're just going to copy this. I don't have npm, so I'm going to stop showing the shell. And go to the node page. Long-term support, LTS. LTS versions are the ones that the developers of the project spend long time maintaining. They say in the page how much time, so you can trust them more. And it's better to develop in those because you need a stable base to develop your projects. You need to trust uh, the code, of the framework, so that your own code does not change a lot. Most of software engineering, as I understand it, is being prepared for change, learning how your code can change the list and how it is easier to change in the future. Okay, so let's download now. That was fast. It's opening. Or it's still downloading? Maybe it's still downloading. Yes. Now it's downloaded. So I'm opening and saying run. And I'm going to show you the installer. Can I show you this instead of each? That seems like a good idea. So audio display capture. Display capture 2. Display 2. Okay. So you're seeing, and to show you that one, the second one. So next, but this goes on. Hello. So accept the terms and program files, npm, browse, next, this usage, I don't care. Some npm models need to be compiled. Task nodes, some tools, Python need to be installed. Automatic, yes. This belongs to Chocolately. Chocolately is like APM, APT, APT of Linux. It's a packet manager. Okay, next, install. Yes. updating, copying, blah blah blah, and as that installs, let's just read how to use these docs. Now you see all that I have done here. Finished. That has been correctly installed. The script will install Python and the Visual Studio Build tools necessary to compare. Note that Chocolate requiring Windows updates. It would also require about 3 gigabytes of free disk space. I have those. Thus, any space necessary to install Windows updates. This will take a while to run. Please close all programs from the duration of the installation. We're not gonna do that. If the installation fails, please ensure to update it to try to run this again. No. Okay, let's just enter. Not working. Maybe enter was not the word. Okay, so yes, the PowerShell. Installing Chocolate. Okay. Chocolate to problem. Very likely you will need to close and reopen shell before you can use Choco, so I don't care about that. You can start here and read through these docs linearly like a book, or you can read the specific sections you need. Are you familiar with React? You can skip that section or read it for a light refresher. Prerequisites. To work with React Native, you will need to have an understanding of JavaScript fundamentals. I do have, but I need more. If you're new to JavaScript or need a refresher, you can dive in or brush up our Mozilla Developer Network. Okay. This seems like a good thing to learn. Maybe not necessary. I'm out of a backend. Brush up. Introduction. Boolean, numbers, strings, data types, variables, operators, control structures, objects, arrays, push, splice function, how to declare a function, anonymous functions, recursive functions, custom objects. Okay, let's check on this. This is talent. This is a good PC. I bought a good PC. I'm going to create. Let's stop showing this. Okay, introduction, JavaScript, inner functions, maybe closures. Most powerful abstraction that JavaScript has to offer, but also the most potentially confusing. What does this do? Make address. A. Returns a function. make address. So you create this function, you return this function. Wow. I need to understand this. Maybe. Okay, interactive function formatting. A lot of software engineering is about deciding what can you do with the time you have. In high level jobs, you just ask for your time and you have a good level of you try to be you try to have as perfect code as possible in high level jobs. In startups, you sacrifice a little bit of completeness for time because the things that you are creating may not live that long, maybe just experiments. So it's not as important. If you're going to throw something, it's not that it's as important to create it perfectly. It's always good to create perfect things because you learn. And in the long term, the most important thing is learning. As Platzi says, Platzi is not paying me. Nunca pares de aprender. It's always the most important thing to learn. And but as I said, learn the things you are going to use. Okay, where I was, where was I going with that? That I don't need maybe closures to implement what I need. I just need something that is faster than typing in an Excel because you accumulate a lot of days. You have to go all the way to the end, put the date. Well, the date can be automated. I have a script that does that. But generally, you at least when I add this, put now and puts the day, and the document gets too big. So maybe just a the no recommends this was the okay that you install this update to optimize the computer. May require your system to reboot more than once. So this is a BIOS update. Let's cancel it for now. Sorry, I have a lot of ticks. I don't know that ticks. I do a lot of steaming with myself. Yes, I do. I move weird. Okay, so this is installing. I'm tired. But it's still early. I'm checking Pomodoro. Pomodoro is a great way to really focus on what you're doing. You say, I'm going to use this space of time to do this task, and it's quite good. You start with 25 minutes. It's even for people that have problems with that have ADHD, problems with maybe I need to rest, problems with attention. The 25 minutes allows them to complete something. And they also have the problem with too much focus. They go for hours in super focus. I may do that, but I don't have problems with attention. And yes, Pomodoro allows them to do that. It's a great way. It's a great way to work. Is I think is a great advance in how human minds work. We need to focus, but not so much time. We can't focus all day. We can't say I'm going to work 8 hours. That's not true. Jordan Peterson says that you only have 3 or 4 hours of concentrated work in the whole day. When you're really concentrated, I was uh, in competitive programming. Actually, going to practice competitive programming for some interviews. You have 5 hours to solve 12, generally 12, 13, some were, how do you say, mundiales? Some, well, the biggest contest in the world. Let's just translate that. Well, the competition, the most important competition in the world for ACM. I don't remember the name. Have like 16 problems. You have 5 hours. When you end that, you have energy for more. Sometimes if we enjoy the contest, when we go out with the people of the contest, we keep talking about the programs, about the solution, because the solutions were fun. It was a interesting way to use software engineering, and you keep talking and that, but you end up pretty tired. There are ways to go beyond the 4 hours, but it's not good in the long term. The second day and the third day is not going to work the same. It doesn't allows you to work those more than four. That's what he means. More than 4 hours of concentrated work are not possible in the long term. Okay, let's see how this is going. Prerequisite. Chocolate rated 16. Exit code, there is in packaging. Okay, this is going to need a reboot. So I'm going to stop the streaming and keep this and this installation. And in the future, I will keep the installation. If they need new more steps, I will show them to you. Okay, so bye. Have a great night. Have a great day. I don't know when you're seeing this. Okay, bye.